You have mastered the skill of website design in Framer, and now it's time to earn good money using those skills. In this video, I will share with you proven strategies to get high-paying clients in a short amount of time. Hi everyone, I am Bhupen, a web designer with over 3 years of experience. I have worked with many amazing clients over these years and successfully built a website template business over these years. I have tried almost all the freelancing platforms out there, tried many strategies and tactics to find work, and I found out that only few of them actually work. First, I'll start with freelance platforms that are actually worth your time and energy, and where you can find high paying clients, and I'll also tell you how to succeed on them. Then I'll talk about some other methods that you can use to find high paying clients. If you follow them properly, you can definitely kickstart your freelance journey. So stay tuned till the end of the video. The first freelance platform is where I got my first client project, and this platform is Upwork. I know what you might be thinking. Upwork is way too crowded. There's just too much competition. A lot of money is wasted in buying connects on Upwork, and it's just not worth it. But hear me out. If you follow the tips that I'm going to tell you now, there is a high chance that you will find your first client project without blindly spending money on buying connects on Upwork. But before that, let's talk about how to get your Upwork profile verified and how to optimize it further so your profile does not get ignored. First of all, use a good professional looking profile photo. By professional, I do not mean wearing a 3-piece suit for your profile photo. Just take a good headshot, a smiling face with a neutral background. You can take your picture up against a white wall maybe get a haircut, trim your beard, look sharp, look professional. Only write relevant skills for your profile. Do not try to write random skills just to show that you are an all-rounder. It looks unprofessional. It degrades your Upwork profile. And clients also prefer to work with freelancers who are expert in the set of skills they are looking for. For example, I can design websites on Figma. I can build them on Webflow and Framer. So this is the set of skills I chose on Upwork. And I got my first client too. Of course, you can add more skills around website design. Suppose if you have good knowledge of SEO and can write great content on websites, then you can definitely choose SEO and content writing as your skill. But remember to only choose skills that you genuinely learned and don't try to make things up there. Now let's talk about the title of your Upwork profile. Title shows up below your name and plays a very significant role. Write the type of titles that show you as a self-proclaimed expert. For example, instead of writing titles like web designer and developer or framer web designer, you should write titles with something like expert web designer, creative web designer, or maybe expert in landing page designs. This grabs the attention of clients and definitely works in your favor. A pro tip: you can modify the titles according to the jobs you're applying for. For example, if you're applying for a landing page project, then you can definitely modify your title that mentions something about landing pages so it directly matches with the client needs and highlights your proposal in a long list of 40 to 50 proposals. This strategy has worked for me. I saw that there were a lot of job postings regarding mobile first websites. So I modified my title to creative web designer, expert in mobile first websites, and it did help me in securing some clients. And this goes without saying, you should definitely complete your Upwork profile to 100%. Add every detail. Get your identity verified, add all the information about your work experience, education, portfolio, introduction video, everything. Well, let's talk about your portfolio. Because if you do not have a portfolio, there's a very low chance that someone will hire you for a project. Now you may be asking, Bhupen, I have not worked on any project. How am I supposed to make a portfolio showcasing my work? You can still make great portfolio even if you have not worked on a single project yet. All you need is some concept projects. I recommend you to make 3 websites for 3 different categories. I personally chose an e-commerce website, a travel website, and a photography website. What I did was, I created great designs for these websites. I treated them like I'm working on a real project. I followed a particular style for each website. And if it helps, you can ask ChatGPT to act like a client and give you these 3 websites as a project, stating all the requirements. Then all you have to do is make these websites and follow all these instructions. Then add those websites on your portfolio. This shows the client how good you are and how capable you are. If the client asks about these projects, just mention that they are concept projects that you have worked to demonstrate your skills. And if your portfolio pieces are really good, Your clients won't even mind this at all. This method of building portfolio as a beginner has worked for me and everyone I've recommended this in the past. And I'm sure that this will work for you too. Now let's talk about the biggest mistake I've seen freelancers do on Upwork. And it is proposing the wrong price. A lot of freelancers think that if they bid low prices, then they will look attractive for clients. Like if it's some kind of bid war, like the one who proposes the lowest price wins the job. This is a really wrong mindset. I have seen freelancers bidding as low as $10 per hour or even $5 per hour. No genuine client wants to hire someone at such low prices. But you may be asking, how am I gonna get a client if I don't bid a lower price? There's a lot of competition on Upwork. A lot of freelancers are working there and I'm just a beginner. How can I charge same as them? And due to this mindset, a lot of freelancers bid such a low prices. Well, price is decided based on the skill level. Suppose you have worked on 2 projects and there's a freelancer who has worked on 20 projects. But you both have similar level of skills. You can build as good websites as that freelancer. Then you have every right to charge as much as him. Like if he's charging $60 per hour, then you can definitely charge $50 per hour for your projects. This is because pricing is one of the ways to tell if something is quality or not. Websites are high value products. Businesses are going to use websites to drive more sales. It's going to represent their business and their brand. So they don't want cheap. They want quality, they want standard. So how much should you charge for a website as a beginner? I would recommend you to charge at least $30 per hour and go up to $50 per hour. But keep in mind, pricing is very much dependent on the client. For some clients, $200 per hour is very cheap. And for some clients, $20 per hour is very high. It all depends on how valuable that website is for their business. But I would highly recommend you to not go below $30 per hour. Now that we have covered pricing, let's talk a bit about how to structure your proposal to a client. First of all, there is no magic template or cover letter that will just land you clients. The only thing I'll say is that you should write your proposals personalized for each project. For example, if a client wants a freelancer who can build damn good landing pages, then your proposal should be more focused towards your capabilities and expertise in making damn good landing pages. This will increase the chance of getting that project. And lastly, do not get scammed on Upwork. Only apply on projects that matches your skill sets perfectly. Do not apply for projects that are uploaded by clients who do not have their payments verified and have not spent any money on Upwork. You have to spend money to apply for every job. So you should be extra careful and do not apply for any job you see on Upwork. Try to form your own screening method to apply for jobs on Upwork. If you still think that Upwork is not worth your time, or maybe you want to try on some other platform, then Contra can be a great choice for your freelance journey. Contra is a bit different from Upwork. First of all, Framer has a dedicated partner network with Contra. So there are dedicated projects for Framer designers listed there. And most of these projects are from serious clients with real budgets. But getting clients on Contra is not as simple as creating your profile and just waiting around. There are a few things that you absolutely need to do. Otherwise, your profile just gets buried and you never get a project. First, you should definitely work towards getting Framer Expert badge on Contra. This badge is a big deal. It proves your skills and puts you in front of right clients. Clients can literally filter freelancers who have this badge. So if you don't have this badge, they may not see your profile. Second, if you are serious about getting clients on Contra, then you definitely need to go for Contra Pro membership. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Another Pro membership? But trust me, without Contra Pro membership, you won't be able to apply to jobs yourself, as Contra shows that there is a 6-week waitlist for access to job feed for non-pro members. And who knows if you'll ever get access even after the 6 weeks. Without Pro membership, you'll just be hoping that someone magically reaches to you and just hands you work. And that just doesn't work on Contra. But with Contra Pro, you can instantly unlock the job feed and you can start applying on projects yourself. That alone is worth it if you're trying to land high quality clients. Plus, you also get access to some really useful stuff. You get access to analytics to see how your profile and services are performing. You can also join the Contra community, which is great for networking. And probably the best part, Contra does not take any commissions. So what you charge is what you earn. Simple as that. Alright, once you are on Contra Pro, here comes the most important part. Packages. On Contra, you don't just list your skills. You actually create service packages like you are creating a product. So for example, you might have a package for $900 for Figma website design, $2,000 for a Framer landing page, or maybe $4,000 for a full website design on Framer that can be up to 10 pages. You can add everything in there. Timeline, packages, what's included, everything, and make sure to make it super clear. Now just a little tip. Do not underprice or overprice yourself on Contra. There's a healthy amount of competition here from freelancers who are really serious for their work. So price somewhere in the middle. Enough to show value but at the same time attract clients. And like I said before, you should first focus on getting the Framer Expert badge because that is your biggest asset on Contra. It instantly builds trust, and once you've got that badge, Contra Pro and well thought out packages, you're all set to start landing some really solid client projects. Now let's talk about Fiverr. To be honest, Fiverr is not my top recommendation if your primary goal is to land high paying clients for Framer. But that does not mean you should completely skip it. You can use Fiverr on the side while still focusing more on platforms like Upwork or Contra. Just set up a decent profile. Create clean packages and let it sit. Don't stress too much about optimizing every little thing. Just show your work professionally and clearly. A few years ago, I actually worked on Fiverr creating captions for finance videos. It was fun, I earned a bit side income, and I also got to know how Fiverr works. It's super competitive. Unless you find a niche or hit the right keywords, it's very difficult to stand out. And that being said, Framer is getting really popular. More people are searching for Framer websites, and on Fiverr, not many freelancers are offering this service. So there can be potential opportunities there, and if you position yourself well, you can land some solid clients on Fiverr. There are a few things that you should keep in mind. Use smart, keyword-rich titles like Framer website design or landing page in Framer. Keep pricing fair. Not too cheap, not too overpriced. Add eye-catching thumbnails that show off your work. And if possible, try to add a short introduction video because this really helps in building trust. Fiverr takes 20% cuts from the orders. So make sure to factor that in when you are making the packages. So the bottom line is, do not mainly focus on Fiverr, but also do not ignore this. It's like planting a seed. It might not grow instantly, but it's worth having it in place. So this is it for freelance platforms that are worth your time and energy. And I think you should definitely start on them as you are a beginner. Now let's talk about something that not a lot of people mention, but it works surprisingly well if you do it right. And that is reaching out to design studios and creative agencies directly. Now you might be thinking, don't design agencies already have in-house designers? Yeah, they do. But here's the thing, most agencies are juggling a lot of projects at once. To cut their cost and move faster, they often outsource their work to trusted freelancers, especially the simpler tasks or overflow work. This is where you can come in. If you are starting out, working with agency or studios can be really helpful. You gain real-world experience, you build solid connections, and you get more comfortable with handling real client projects. But how does it really work? How do I find these agencies and how to approach them? So what you do is build an email list of small to mid-sized design agencies. They are usually 3 to 20% team, small enough that they need help and large enough that they get regular client work. Then from time to time, you reach out to them via email. But this is where most people mess up. They send a copy-paste email to everyone. You should definitely avoid that. Studios and agencies, they have a very distinct design style. If your portfolio or personal design, it aligns with their style, then they are much more likely to respond to your emails because they can immediately imagine you working on their projects without need for an extra training or something. So do your research, mention their recent work, compliment their style, tell them exactly how you can help them. Keep the email short, friendly and personal. And trust me, there's always an agency or studio looking for freelance help. If your email lands in their inbox at the right time, it saves them from posting a job, filtering out through a bunch of applications and going through whole screening process. You become the easy choice for them. This method is seriously underrated. And this can open a lot of opportunities if you do this with care. Now you might be asking, Bhupen, where do I find these creative studios and agencies? Well, there are a few methods that will help you in building this email list. First method is using social media. A lot of smaller design studios share their work on Twitter. They post behind the scenes, client projects, or sometimes even hiring calls. Now on LinkedIn, you can search for people who work on these design studios. Now using this, you make a list of these potential design studios. Then go visit their website to get a sense of their vibe before sending your email. Now what if I tell you I can give you a name of website that will give you a list of all the agencies working in website design field? Well, this website is clutch.co. On this website, you can search for agencies working in the field of website design. There you can find more info about them, like their website, their team size, how much they charge, where they're located. Using that information, you can build the email list of those agencies. You can also find agencies on Rebel and Behance. This requires some work, but it can definitely get you names of these agencies. On these websites, you can find a ton of design work posted by them. All you have to do is click their profile, and many of them will have a website listed there. From there, you can find a contact email or maybe a contact form so you can get in touch with them. When you find a design agency, don't rush it. Read their website, check out their past projects, and see if your style is a good fit for them. Then send a short email that shows that you have done your homework and explain how you can help them with Framer projects, especially if you see that they have done Framer projects before. One more tip. You do not need a long resume or a ton of past work to do this. If your portfolio is solid and your message is good, that's more than enough to get your work. This is a slow burn strategy. You may not get a reply instantly, but if you start reaching out consistently to right studios, maybe like 3 to 5 emails per week, then things will definitely start working out. And once you work with one agency, more often than not, they'll keep coming back to you for more work. They already know your style, your process, and your reliability. So they would rather stick with you than keep looking for new freelancers again and again. So cold emailing agencies might not sound glamorous, but it absolutely works if you treat this like a long-term play. And in the world of freelance framer design, this type of recurring and steady work can be a total game changer. Alright, now let's talk about something that's super underrated when it comes to getting consistent freelance work, and it is networking with other freelancers. You see, a lot of freelancers who have been working in this space for a while now eventually get fully booked for weeks or even months. And when a new client reaches to them, they generally do not say no. They refer the project to someone they trust. Now here's the catch. If they don't know any framer freelancer personally, they don't have anyone to refer the project to, which means you missed out on an opportunity that could have come your way just because you weren't in their network. This happens a lot in framer space, even in my own case. Sometimes I'm fully booked and I would love to pass on the project to someone else, but I do not know many freelancers in this space that I can confidently rely on and can refer a project. And I know this isn't just my case. Many freelancers don't have time to actively connect with others in their field, which is a missed opportunity. So here's what I recommend. Be a part of trustworthy and active design communities. It can be Contra, Slack, or Twitter. Don't just join, actually participate. Share your work, give feedback, ask questions, offer help when someone's stuck. This is how you build real relationships with people who are in same boat as you. And it's not just about getting referrals. Suppose you are working on a client project and you hit a roadblock. Maybe there's a tricky interaction that you're trying to create on Framer. Maybe there's a 3D animation that you're trying to create on Spline, but this isn't working out like how you imagined it to be. Now, when you are connected with other freelancers, you can ask their advice and they can help you resolve those problems. So networking isn't just about getting clients. It's also about growing with people who understand what you do. And trust me, those connections can lead to some of the best opportunities that you'll ever get. Alright. Here's one more underrated way to get clients: reaching out to local businesses. Most freelancers skip this, but local businesses, they do need websites. A lot of them don't have a website at all, and this is where you can help them and land some solid client work. For example, the businesses who are working in the field of exporting premium furnitures or some other supplies, they do need websites, and the purpose of these websites is to show the portfolio of products they manufacture. You have to locate the demand and give the supply. As simple as that. Now of course, you might not be able to charge a premium price for these clients, but it's a great way to build trust, gain real experience, and grow your network. And it doesn't have to be just your city. You can explore nearby places too. Just go on Google Maps and search for booming local businesses. They can be gyms, salons, or maybe restaurants, or you can find them on websites like Just Dial. Give them a call or send a short message with what you can do and how you can help them. Most of these business owners, they don't hang out on Fiverr or Upwork. They don't even know how to find someone to build their website. So when you show up with a solid offer, it's a win-win. It's not talked about so much, but this method works surprisingly well, especially when you're just getting started. Alright, so those were some of the proven strategies to get clients as a freelance framer designer. These strategies have worked for me or for the ones whom I know personally, from freelance platforms to cold emailing studios, working with other designers, or even reaching out to local businesses. There's no shortage of opportunities out there. But none of these strategies will actually work if you are just sitting around and not putting in any effort. You have to show up, stay consistent, and keep putting in the efforts. Because let's be real, there's no alternative to hard work. That's what separates successful freelancers from the rest. And if you are still learning Framer or want to polish your skills, I've got something for you. I'm currently uploading a free Master Framer course on my channel. 4 chapters are already live and a new one is dropped every week. This course is beginner friendly, super practical, and designed to take you all the way from zero to client ready projects. So if you are serious about freelancing with Framer, definitely go check it out.